let's write the function, and I will call it first at app.route get plot. Remember, this is because in the index file, the action is get plot, so you're supposed to use the same name here, and the methods equals can define a function called getPlot. The first thing to do is to do this if statement, if request the method equal post. If you don't do this, it might give you some errors in such as the method has some errors or the method is not found. And now let's do year one, which is requested from the user side request of form. Remember we gave it a name, also called it year one. You can give the variable other names, but right now I will just go with the year one. Okay, so there are several other that we can get from the index file. Okay, so remember we have year one, year two, year three, year four, and we also got a desired growth rate, whose name is just the desired growth rate. So we also needed to request from the user. Right now, I'll just copy and paste the code from what I've already written. So there are some format issues, but okay, I can just do it quickly. Okay, now we are done with requesting it from the user side. So let's create a list called the years. Year one, year two, year three, and year four. And also we'll be creating another list called the capitals. Year one capital, year two capital, and year three capital. You can give them shorter names, and it's just for the clarity purpose. You can use other names. So also there is something you need to remember, that we need to convert everything into floating number. Otherwise, on the graph, there might be some conflicts where the graph does not know whether it is a mathematical value or it's a string value. So to be safe, let's do for I in range len capitals. You can just use the float, built-in float to convert the capitals. So now we are done with the capitals, and also remember we need to remain a copy of data where we need to get back to the users. So let's do data. And now remember we need to calculate the desired growth. So make a list of the desired growth. This will be initialized. Desired growth, because the desired growth is calculated based on the first year, and this first year times the rate, and the third year will be the will time again the rate. So we need to remember that the first thing we need to initialize with a year one capital. So let's append the year one capital to the first. Now, because we appended year one, so there are only 3 years left. So let's do another loop. Also, do not forget to convert it to float also. For I in range capitals, remember to -1 as I told you the reason rows. Wait. So we need to have a variable called growth so we can multiply and get the remaining values based on that. So let's copy paste it here. Remember, it should also be converted to float. The growth times equals also convert to float desired growth rate, right? And the desired growth rate, desired growth, which is the list, should append this growth. Okay. So now we done with the desired growth and also the original capitals, which is the actual growth. So let's do the plot. Years capitals. So this will be reflected in the actual plot as the or as the actual growth. And let's plot the desired growth. Okay, so let's give this plot a title. So we can just call it trend. You can give it other names. The X label, we can remember the X coordinate is our year, so just do it year plot dot Y label. It should be our capital. So I will introduce the legend, which will be telling you which color line is which growth, because we have two growths here. The user might be confused to look at which line is what. So remember to use square brackets here. So the first is the actual growth, and the second one is the desired growth. Also, there is something I forgot to mention here. Because we created a dictionary called data, we actually need to put everything in this data so the user can have another copy. So let's do for I in range years, length years. So data the capitals, because here we are assuming that the years and the capitals have the same length, because each year is correspond to one capital, so it's okay to do it here, because they're of the same length. So now it's the actual trick where we can display that image to our HTML file, so the user will actually be able to see the plot without the Python itself give us a window. So there are several ways we can do this, but the simplest way is to just save the image to our local file. So let's do plt.savefig, and remember to create another folder here called not under the templates, called the static. You must have this folder, otherwise you might encounter some issues here. So save fig, let's define the path to our file. So static myplot, let's call it myplot.png. So after this graph is generated, it will be saved as a PNG file under your static folder. So let's now return render template index.html, and also you can do and also you need to return the plot URL. So it's static myplot.png. And remember to return the data you need to give back to the user. So we can just do data equals data here. And because it's a if statement, you can put a else to be extra safe. And right now we just need to do return render template.html. So yes, and this is basically it. However, to run this Flask application, there's something else you need to do. For example, you need to define a secret key. But I don't know why it's necessary. But for some application, if you don't write this line, you might run into trouble. So let's just do it like some key you will never guess. Also, to run this, you have to run the app on localhost like port 5000. So let's do f name equal. This will make sure that each time you run your program, this will be called automatically. So app run, let's run our local host. So the IP address will be we run it on 5000. You can try other ports, but here I will just do 5000. So the bug equals true when you're trying to test your project. Okay, so let's check our index.html file. So right now in this index.html file, what you need to do is to actually display the image. So let's write a if condition. So if plot URL if it is received. Remember that it has a percentage sign and it has the curly braces. So the if does not have a blank space between it. So remember not to put the blank space. If URL, I will just use image to display image. The source is rc equals the plot URL. And the alternate text we will be using is this alternate text is displayed where something goes wrong in your actually PNG file. So let's give it some text called the chart cannot be displayed. Okay, so now we are done with this one. Also remember to return data to the user. We can have a line specifying that. The line chart is plotted based on the following data. Okay, so let's create a table. So the table heads are year and capital. And the rows, we can again write a for loop. So for line in data is what been returned as along with the render template. So there is a n for, remember there's no blank space. So t row, table row, and td delimits the table cells actually. So, and because it is a dictionary, so the key will be the year. So I will just use line here, and the value we can do it through line. Wait, data line. It's a data is a dictionary and line is a key. So what we get will be the value, which is the capital here. So right now we're basically done with it, but we can do a bit more styling with the table style. So make sure it has a bold text. It has a solid outline, so we can see it more clearly. You can use other styles too. So I can just copy and paste it from my original document. This is optional, and if you want to be more beautiful, you can also do other styling. So this is just for your reference. Okay, now also remember that the VS Code has a preview. I remember it's where we can get from the extensions, right? So it's called the HTML preview, and I can put the link in descriptions. Okay, so this will be it will look like, and don't be afraid because the image is not generated yet, and there's no data here. Okay, so let's pull up a terminal. Let's do a new terminal, and remember to save everything before you start. So let's do Python 3. Check if everything is okay. The net.py. So here it tells our Python program is already running. Let's go to our web browser, copy this. Okay, so this is what we see here. This is what we see on this project. So year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. And what if you messed up some value? For example, you got year 3, you can delete it, or you can simply reset everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the capital is, for example, the desired growth rate, let's make it 2. Okay, so the plot is here. So again, this is what we'll be seeing in the end. And you can check based on the data we outputted there. So the orange line represents the desired growth, which is 2, which is the desired growth. So for the first year, it's 2, and second year is 4, 8, then 16. So it doubles each year, and the actual growth here is 2 and 1, it's 3 and 8. This is based on the user input. So thank you for watching this video. This is the end of the tutorial. So if you find this helpful, so please give me a like or subscribe to my channel for my future videos. And also you can write a comment if you find something we need to improve, or you can also share your work with us, which I will appreciate very much. And also, if you really like it, you can also comment below. So thank you, everyone. Goodbye.